going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Driving Professor. For those of you who are actually new to the channel, I am your host, as always, Rashid White. All right, so about a year ago, I did a video about this Army lieutenant who got pulled over by the police. And, of course, he didn't follow the commands of the officer. He took him on a 1 mile chase. And, you know, things happen. So, apparently, there's an update. The officer has been fired. I don't know why, but we're going to listen into the reasons why this officer has actually been fired. I guess revisit this. And if you have, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you have kids around, this is probably going to get a little ugly, and you might want to kind of turn this one off, man. Because there's going to be probably some curse words. Because I'm getting sick and tired of people like this. They get me so freaking angry, man. Let's roll the film. Let's roll the video. Comes from CNN, of course, man.
I don't know exactly when Officer Joe Gutierrez was fired, but we know he was terminated following an internal investigation that found department policy was not followed. Now, the other officer is still employed with Windsor Police. Their body camera footage, along with a personal cell phone video of the man they pulled over, show us what happened in December. Now, we've watched these videos many times to put the story together, and it does not get any easier. Viewers should be warned, this video can be disturbing. 6:30 p.m., December 5th, 2020. Lieutenant Karan Nazario, driving in his army fatigues through the small town of Windsor, Virginia, saw flashing lights in his rearview mirror. He wasn't sure why he was being pulled over.
It doesn't matter why you feel that you're not being pulled over. You got to pull over. I'm a professional driver. I got pulled over at least 65, maybe 70 times. You see them about to pull you over, you pull the F over.
According to his lawsuit, he slowed down and put his blinker on, indicating his intention to pull over, but didn't do so for another minute and 40 seconds, which he later explained was in order to find a well-lit area.
Driver, roll the window down!
Listen, the police have flashlights on them. They have the flashlight that's right on the door. Don't worry about that nonsense. Man, I got pulled over a year ago, and it was in a dark area, man. Stop the bullshit, please. Cops ain't out there trying to hunt you down and trying to hurt you or kill you and all this nonsense. I don't care what the damn media actually tries to make you believe.
Put your hands out the window! Turn the vehicle off! Put your hands out the window!
Hearing these different commands while sitting in his car with his seatbelt on, Nazario began recording from his own cell phone and put his hands out the window as ordered. Turns out, Officer Daniel Crocker had not seen the temporary license plate taped to the back window of Nazario's brand new Chevrolet Tahoe. And seeing tinted windows and a driver not stopping right away, Crocker decided it was a high-risk traffic stop.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Police get shot on the side of the road. It's the most dangerous. That and a domestic call are the most dangerous calls that these police can actually do. I mean, encounters in a sense, traffic stops. Yes, we've seen it. Cops actually get murdered all the time on the side of the road. Not all the time, but a lot of times. And you make these guys' job a lot easier. When you go to work, all right, that's this.
But this was never explained to Nazario, who for several minutes continued to ask why he'd been pulled over.
What's going on? How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I don't know, babe. Get out of the car!
Body camera footage shows Officer Joe Gutierrez, gun drawn, unfastening the Velcro around what may be his taser at this time.
What's going on?
What's going on? You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
The lawsuit says Nazario thought ride the lightning meant he could be killed.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, do your shit. Get out now.
I have not committed any crimes.
You're being stopped. I'm trying to violate you. You're not cooperating. If you point.
Listen, it's a felony stop. They're not going to be nice to you. Hey, sir, can you please get out the car? Please, sir. You know, sometimes they're dealing with real criminals, real violent felons, gang members. They're not going to be nice with you if you're going to act like one.
Right now, you're under arrest. You're being detained. Hey, you're being paid for
For a
obstructing justice.
traffic violation, I do not have to get out the vehicle. You haven't even told me why I'm being stopped.
About 2 to 3 minutes in, Officer Crocker tried to open the driver's door. In his report, he wrote, quote, "When I attempted to unlock and open the driver's door, the driver assaulted myself by striking my hand away and pulled away from Officer Gutierrez's grip."
Yeah, you can say that. I wouldn't say it's in the. You can kind of say that. He moved his hand away when he's actually trying to do his job.
But in his own body camera footage, Nazario is not seen striking anyone. Crocker's report also says that at this point,
Yeah, he struck his hand down. What the F you guys are talking about?
Gutierrez, quote, "gave several more commands to comply with orders or he would be sprayed with his OC spray. But no such warnings could be heard. Gutierrez just sprayed Nazario, still without either officer having told Nazario what exactly he was pulled over for."
You think the police got time for this bullshit here, man? I mean, there's real crimes they can actually be dealing with. This is like a 3 or 4 minute stop. Just get out the car, explain what happened, show them your ID and whatever, and just get on your way. They don't got time for this nonsense.
That's up. That's the car now. I don't even want to reach my seatbelt. Can you take your seatbelt off and get out of the car? You made this way more difficult than it had to be. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
So fucking stupid. He never got his gun drawn. I'm so scared to reach for my seatbelt.
Why am I being treated like this? Why? Not cooperating. Get on the ground. Lay down and you're gonna get paid.
The officers handcuffed Nazario, then stood him back up. He told them his dog was in the back seat and was choking from the pepper spray. Medics arrived and the conversation mellowed.
All right, the dog is actually in the trunk. You see the victimhood that these guys be trying to play over here. The dog is right here. The OC spray was in the. It's an SUV. It's almost like, was it like 6-7 feet? No way the OC spray reached back there.
2-minute traffic stop turned into all this.
Nazario explained why he didn't immediately pull over.
I was pulling over to a relevant area for my safety and yours. I have respect for law enforcement.
But Gutierrez said that wasn't the problem.
No respect for law enforcement at all.
So like I told you, as far as not stopping and just switch another one, you want to wheel the spot, because it happens all the time. It happens to be a lot. And it's I'll take 80%, not always 80%, and somebody knows it.
And while the officers couldn't understand why Nazario didn't get out of the car as instructed,
I was blind.
Nazario said he didn't know why he was being stopped.
I've never looked out the window and saw a gun blazing immediately.
They had the lights on. You can see it in your rear view mirror, man. I mean, he's like.
Gutierrez eventually told Nazario that he had a conversation with the chief of police and was giving him the option to let this all go.
There's no need to get this on your record. I don't want your record. However, it's entirely up to you. If you want to fight it and argue, I don't mean disrespectful, okay? I mean, you have that right as a citizen. If that's what you want, we'll charge you. It doesn't change my life one way or the way.
The town of Windsor has also added police department-wide requirements for additional training after this incident.
Why? The cops did their job.
In January. Now, the town manager told CNN that they're saddened for events like this to cast a negative light on their community. Part of his statement reads, rather than deflect criticism, they've addressed the matter with their personnel administratively.
We should note CNN has not been able to reach either of the officers for comment. It's unclear at this time if they do have legal representation. Let me bring in retired U.S. Army Major General Dana Pittard. He served as the former Army ground commander in Iraq. General, thank you. You're also the author of the book, Hunting the Caliphate, and we're glad you're here this morning.
Morning, Poppy. Thank you for having me.
I have to ask you, as someone who served this country, just as Lieutenant Nazario has, you lived in Suffolk, miles away from where this happened. You know the area well, you know the culture very well. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, as you know, is saying he's very disturbed and angered by this video, as I think anyone waking up to see it is. What did you think as you watched it?
I thought several things. First of all, we don't know all the facts, and that will come up.
What do you mean you don't know all the facts? The facts are right there. Everything was right on camera. He failed to pull over The officer's treated as a felony stop. Listen, we gotta stop this shit, man, in society over here, and this victimhood nonsense, and it's not making us better in society. It's making us worse.
On time. But what we do know, what we saw in the video, was absolutely unacceptable. You're right. I used to live in that area, and I'm familiar with the town of Windsor.
I want to hear from the lawyer. I think the lawyer actually speaks. Man, this guy's these wokey woke guys here, man.
Instructions to the officers: be polite. And in this case, I felt like that's what he was trying to do. Now, the one
it's a felony stop. You're not going to be polite.
Thing maybe he didn't do is when they said get out of the car, get out of the car. But very confusing situation. Well, with the police with their guns drawn on him, it's very difficult. They didn't even tell him, why he was being stopped in the first place.
And to your point about not getting out of the car right when they said to, I mean, let me remind people who may not have seen the whole video, and they should go back and they should watch it all in Natasha Chen's report on it. But when the officer said, get out of the car, he said, I'm honestly afraid to get out of the car. And one of the officers responded, you should be. I mean, that is significant. You should be afraid to get out of the car.
Yeah, the media, man, they'll just twist everything around and just these people should actually get to Hollywood, man. They some damn good actors. They sound so convincing, and they'll make you seem like, oh, the cop was so evil, and they'll try to exonerate the person that was getting pulled over and make him seem like the victim, and
is we want them to come home and come home alive. And that situation could have turned south even more, and it could have been much, much worse. But in many ways, the de-escalation was taking place from the lieutenant's calm behavior, Lieutenant Nazario's calm behavior. The police were not trying to de-escalate. But
they did de-escalate the situation. He had it from a felony stop where his guns was drawn, and they looked at the guy and says, okay, you could tell the guy's not really a bad guy or anything like that. But the police have protocols that they actually have to do. So, yes, the police did actually de-escalate the situation. I mean, these guys trying to make money. And I wish I was out there on a grand jury or a jury. I'm like, no bill, no damn lawsuit. The cops did everything right over here, man. And if I was on a jury case, I'm like, hell to the no.
And part of that may have been his training of the U.S. Army and his overall demeanor, but it was calm. So, in fact, his demeanor helped to de-escalate the situation somewhat, as he was trying to.
There is a moment that I think is really important at the end of the, I don't even know what to call this, confrontation doesn't even fully explain it, but just watch this between the lieutenant and one of the officers, and I want your reaction on the other side.
There's no need to get this on your record. I don't want your record. However, it's entirely up to you. If you want to fight it.
Yes, he broke the law. Broke the law. You have to pull over for the police. This is actually, I think it's a felony. I got to go look it up. But fleeing from the police and not pulling over right away is an arrestable offense. And yes, it can go on your record.
I don't mean disrespectful, okay? I mean, you have that right as a citizen. If that's what you want, we'll charge you. And this can change my life one way or the way.
In fact, it did. It changed both of their lives, and that officer has been fired. But I just wonder what you make seeing that thing. It doesn't need to be on your record. I mean, it turns out the lieutenant had the temporary license affixed to his rear window.
He did, and you would have thought that the police officers would have seen that, because that was the whole reason why they gave for stopping him in the first place. I have problems with that period, that last interaction. It's almost like he's kind of implying a threat to the young lieutenant's career. And, there's over or nearly two.
Yes, he broke the law. He broke the law.
200,000 service members in the entire Hampton Roads area between the Army, Air Force, and obviously the very, very large naval base in Norfolk. So one would have thought that the police were used to interacting with service members.
You telling me somebody can't have a fake army uniform on? You know, that's you could buy a lot of this stuff in a store somewhere. They have to verify whether he's actually in the army or not. I think had the this lieutenant actually pulled over, I'm really finding it hard to believe he's really even an army lieutenant, man. Because he's just an emotional like biatch. So if he would have pulled over and showed him his credentials, I think they would just let the guy go, man. Especially the officer who got fired actually said he was a vet too. And then shame on him for actually filing a lawsuit against his fellow service member. What a straight bitch, man. I mean, what a straight bitch. I'm sorry to actually talk like this. I mean, I try to keep this a family-friendly show, but this stuff really makes my blood boil. And it's one of the reasons that our country is actually really collapsing right now. No accountability, man. No accountability. I mouthed off to cops before, and I paid the price for it. One time I was talking on the cell phone. The cop told me to get the F off the cell phone. I got out I was driving the bus. I got out the bus and got in his face. I'm like, who are you talking to like that? I mean, and I was wrong, though. If you're wrong, you're wrong. So I'm going to wrap this video up before I start cursing even more. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Certainly share this video. When you share, the universe certainly shares back with you. Peace.